What you are about to hear is highly classified. In episode number 148 of Zone 4, it's Hot Topics. The crew returns this week to talk about several topics that are trending across comic news this week. Watchmen prequels, Marvel's action figure tax issues, December sales, and so much more in this fully packed show. Don't forget to check out our weekly webcomic on zone4podcast.com/webcomic. Updates every Monday. We're up to strip 19 now, so check it out. Don't forget that we have the Get Jiggy With It contest going on until the end of January. All you have to do is finish the line, I listen to Zone 4 because, and you can win the chance to be immortalized in issue 10 of Mr. Jigsaw, A Man of a Thousand Parts. You can find more at MrJigsaw.com. Send your entries to zone4@comicrelated.com or to our YouTube channel. We give more shout-outs to our faithful Zone 4 Legionnaires, plus we get a letter from one. If you'd like to get a shout-out, like us on Facebook.com/Zone4Podcast. Our reserve this week is Mr. Mike Luoma of glowinthedarkradio.com, and he talks about some of his projects coming out, so check that out. And now, here's a clip from the show. Right.
Well, it's kind of cool when I can get my comics in front of somebody who hasn't or who's been reading, the big two, and all of a sudden they read an independent comic and they're like, wow, this is like a breath of fresh air, and these characters are cool.
Amen.
It's like they're surprised,
Yeah. Yeah, well, hey, that's it. And I'm very bolstered when I see things like space getting bigger and bigger every year, and those kind of conventions that are now focusing, a primary light, and that's been the rate, the actual essence and reason why comic related exists in the first place. Because Chuck Moore saw a long time ago it was time to start putting the spotlight on independent comics.
Right. That's why I gravitated there. I mean, I love the support. The community support and the support that the site itself shows independence.
Right, it's such right. And if anybody, I've got a few years in the field, in the traditional field of butting my head up against Marvel and DC with concepts and ideas that basically nobody wanted to look at sideways. And 25 years later, I ended up self-publishing. To great, reviews and appreciation, and echoing your own sentiments, Mike, of people looking at this and going, well, why didn't you give this to the big two? This is great. And my answer is flat out because the big two were too stupid to publish it.
Of course.
There you go.
And sometimes it takes a while for stuff to filter out because you're an independent. But if you guys don't mind, I want to thank the guys at Geeks of Doom. Have you guys heard of that site?
Yes.
Nope.
Sounds familiar.
They just like last Wednesday or the 28th of December reviewed my Alibi Jones comic book. I mean, just to give you some idea, Gordon was the first guy to review it, and he reviewed it. What was it, Gordon? Back on September 21st or 7th or something like that.
Right. It was a while ago.
At any rate, they finally reviewed it, but the guy loved it, and they just raved about it. And it was like, they were comparing it to Big Two stuff and saying, this works in ways that doesn't. And it's like, well, cool, thank you, but there's a lot of people doing this.
Mm-hmm. Right. Now, if we're getting a message out here, it's the people is when you go to conventions, okay, it's all well and good to go to the Marvel tables and the DC tables to see your heroes and get your book signed and whatever. But you know what? Go to the other end of Artist Alley just once, okay, and see what's available there. You might just be surprised.
So if you liked what you heard, tune in for the rest of the show later today. If you'd like to sponsor an episode of Zone 4, contact us at zone4@comicrelated.com. We have great rates, and we have a PDF of the rates that we can send out to you. And as always, check us out on our new website, zone4podcast.com, and iTunes. On our website, we have links to our Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, and all that stuff. We have the entire archive of the show, so check it out, look around, learn all about Zone 4. And, of course, thank you for listening.